Bitcoin zoomed out on the weekly. This is going to be an exciting way to start the week because we're going to talk about rate cut recession data as it applies to where we are in this bull cycle. You're going to be incredibly surprised by the statistics. And then we're also going to talk about the supercycle. We're going to take both of these things and we're going to place it on the current cycle that we are in. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. I'm going to bring just some powerful, simple data in the first 5 minutes of the video, and we're going to apply it to the Bitcoin charts. Before I do that, I wanted to go over this post by Kevin Svensson. I see a lot of skepticism and bearish sentiment across social media, and especially so with all the recession talk. The rate cuts are happening. Markets are about to tank. All of this talk. But once Bitcoin recovers, everyone will pretend they were bullish the entire time. And this is really the emotional cycles of crypto. This is what I've seen over the years. I'm sure this is what Kevin's been seeing over the years. And he has this chart here really just exemplifying the fact that we are on pace. We really are just on pace. I wanted to get that out there. Now, two things. We're going to take the supercycle thought and we're going to look at rate cut data. And then we're going to just really look at the Bitcoin chart. So here's the thing Elliot says over here. Elliot trades on X. If we don't break out here, we can start to categorize this whole run as an extended 2019. Important. Extended 2019. What we're about to look at on the charts, when we overlay it on the current chart, you might be surprised by what you see, which would mean a very, very extended cycle, which means we go higher for longer than we ever really hoped. Maybe deep into 2026, AKA Supercycle. Supercycle is just such a powerful, just clickbait, just sounds really good, but it's also just the very most simple definition of what could possibly be getting set up to happen right now. And we're going to look at that, but I want to pair it with this data, because this is like the headline news, not just with crypto, but really with markets in general. Because rate cuts about to happen, right? Of the 14 rate cycles since 1929, 12 of them saw positive S&P 500 returns for the 12-month period following the first rate cut. I think to a lot of people, this data is crazy because there have been so many headlines suggesting something completely different. Right? Like the rate cuts because of recession coming, it's game over for years. That's kind of the vibe that I see like in the headlines. Let's dig into this a little bit more, and then we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart. And this is just a very neutral point. Not every cut is followed by a recession. Let's get that out of the way. And even further, let's get this out of the way. Not every recession is accompanied by a brutal bear market. So let's not get these things confused, okay? The economy is not the market. The market is not the economy. Look at this chart, okay? There's a lot of lines, but it's a very simple illustration. Just let me explain it very, very quickly. S&P 500 performance 1 year after first Fed rate cut. So this is each time it happened, each line represents that. Now the blue is the season where there was no recession in the next 12 months following the rate cut. The red lines, there was a recession in the next 12 months. But what do you notice? First off, it's very just neutral. Like you can't use this to predict, and I think it even talks about this. You can't use this to predict what's going to happen, right? Look, the chart below doesn't predict anything about this cycle. But it does exemplify the fact that, man, you can't just look at a Fed rate cut. You can't just look at fears of recession and say the market is done. Because look at this. Even where we got a Fed rate cut and a recession, look at some of these red lines. They're some of the most powerful market moves on this chart, right? There could be volatility in the short to midterm following a rate cut. And that's something we should very much, I think, probably the most important thing we should anticipate is the shorter term, the midterm, what happens. But if that does happen even, I think that plays actually into what Elliot's saying over here in regards to a super cycle, because what it would mean if we go to the Bitcoin chart now, what it would very simply mean, and then I'm going to zoom in on the Bitcoin daily to talk about short-term price action, but it would just mean more consolidation. It would just mean more fear and choppiness, right? Here, remember our bear market swing low down here in like $15,000, $16,000. It would just mean maybe we're just, man, all the recession talks happening. If this is just in a case where Bitcoin just actually starts moving down now, okay, and crypto starts moving down now, because this chart is the roadmap to crypto. This applies to crypto markets, but we're moving down. But what in general is happening, right, is just a higher low on the macro. And this could be the setup for a super cycle, whether it's a move like that, whether it's just still more sideways, not even that down, and then we're going up. Like, this could be the setup for the super cycle. We'll take it a step further because he referenced 2019. And really, whether you look at a Bitcoin chart, you can go to the total crypto market cap chart. Here's the total crypto market cap chart. The consolidation happening right now from a structure standpoint, and I talked about this in yesterday's video, so similar to back here in 2019. It's crazy. Notice, though, it's happening just kind of at a little bit of a different time, a little bit further out. And it makes so much sense because the power move that crypto has had going into halving is just way more powerful than the power move back here before the halving. You can just see this total crypto market cap was testing all-time highs, very close. Bitcoin broke all-time highs for the first time prior to a halving. So the consolidation right now makes sense and it plays into the super cycle. But if we go to the Bitcoin chart and we take our bars pattern, we get even a stronger illustration of what this could potentially look like, right? So we could just take the swing high here and take it to the next bull market high. And we can just take that entire consolidation. There's COVID. It really throws the chart off a lot, right? But what is this chart doing? This is what a super cycle would look like in general, because just how far out this is going. Check this out. This is, as he said in the post, 2026, what Elliot was talking about. Very speculative, right? I'm just taking last cycle data and I'm placing it on the chart. Here's COVID in here. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe this is the move that we get because of the recession talk and the rate cuts happening, and this is the short to midterm move that we're getting, this capitulation. But notice what that is. Even this is a COVID dip placed on this chart. Bitcoin's in the lower 30s. It's all over. But then what, everybody? Right? And I take this chart and I really begin to just think about what we just looked at historically when we've been in very similar seasons. Obviously, every time it's something else going on, right? But I start looking at this, the possibilities, even with a recession, and then I look at a Bitcoin chart, I look at a crypto chart, I understand where crypto is right now in terms of the demand, institutions pouring in, and I'm just like, it is tough to get distracted on this short-term daily chart. And I think it's very dangerous because I think this is the chart that matters. This is zoomed out, the macro. What's happening, everybody? There's a shift happening, a global shift into crypto, and we are just at the beginning. So I think all of the data is, maybe it's not happening as soon as we want. Maybe it will happen very soon, right? Maybe we get the breakout. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you zoom out, you take data even as applies to recessions and rate cuts and all the negative talk, and it's still not looking that bad. Let's go to the daily. I just want to mention some things because at the end of the day, Bitcoin, it's just not done what we need to see it do to get that breakout that we want, right? This upper trend line breakout, this multi-month consolidation Bitcoin has been in between this upper trend line, the lower trend line. And really what we're waiting for, even right now as I do this video, Bitcoin's obviously, it's trying to put in a green daily candle. And we're trying to make a little bit of a move, but at the end of the day, nothing's happening, right? The 20-day moving average is right around $60,000. That is the very first thing we want to see Bitcoin. And we've been here time and time again, haven't we? Every time we're trying to get Bitcoin back above these moving averages to get higher highs and higher lows above the moving average for the true breakout. And each time it just fails, right? Here we go again. Back above the moving averages, fail. Back above the moving averages, fail. And now here we are once again. The question is, can Bitcoin break 60,000 at the 20-day? That next resistance, 50-day at $62,000. Then we have a lower high Fibonacci right here, confluent kind of with that 50-day and the 200-day at 63,600 or so. And then in there, we have the short-term holder cost basis, which we've been keeping an eye on. This is what this chart looks like right now. Just insane. We want to see Bitcoin get back above that, the short-term holder realized price on this chart. And that is right confluent with this lower high Fibonacci in between the 50 and the 2. Look at all the resistance is what I'm saying. So on the short term, this is all I'm waiting for. But it's a lot of waiting, isn't it? We might get resistance and go lower with more negative headlines. And it's just, we have to just kind of go through that day by day. We'll track it day by day. We'll anticipate lower lows on this chart and what that might look like. You know, the lower trend line is right down here around $51,000 to $52,000. But at the end of the day, I can't help but just zoom out and really look at all the data coming together and say, you know what? Maybe it requires more patience. That is what it is. But the chart in general, crypto in general, I think looking good. So wanted to try and just bring all of this data together as briefly as possible. Let me know your thoughts as we start this new week. I appreciate all of you cruising through. Hit the subscribe, turn notifications on, because I really think, I say it a lot, I think we're just getting started. I know it's tough sometimes. I get it. I really do. But I think we're just getting started. I would love to have you on the crypto journey with me. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.